Hello, Tankers Gamers. Momentary Genius here with first an apology for the clickbait type uh, title. Yes, this is slightly about the Panzerjager NM-116, which is a reskin, now World War II version of the Cold War version of the NM-116. Um, this isn't technically a review. There'll be a bunch of other videos from other content creators on this. I'll give my thoughts on this whole double dipping of wargaming or World of Tanks console later on in the NM-116 clip I have in this video, if you stick around long enough. Um, the gameplay for this on Sunset Coast doesn't go very far because I'm not a big World War II fan, but I won this tank in a giveaway, and it kind of brought up an interesting situation about premium tanks and reskins of previous tanks. That is a regular and tactic of wargaming since the beginning of every version of this game, whether it's on PC, console, or mobile. But it was just in the recent past, there has been one other premium tank that came out and was a reskin of a tech tree tank with no real differences, and that was the Type 63 HG90, the light tank for the Chinese line in Cold War, which was, part and parcel, yep, go figure. But this, in my mind, along with another reskin job here for the NM-116, brought up something that came out in the Evolution Season Pass, which was a tank skin, just a skin, not a tank, not a new premium tank, or whichever, of the, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, but for the Centurion 5-1 in Cold War, the Israeli tank Sho't skin, Sho't Meteor skin, to be specific. So this was, the Israeli tanks were introduced last season. None of the tech tree tanks are British. They're all Soviet tanks that were acquired by the Israelis, despite the fact that the British tank line came out last year. British tanks, along with, which are consisting of Centurions for the Israelis, have been in the World War II mode since early on, but they don't appear in the tech tree line for the Israelis, and there's no special premium Centurion Israeli tank, just a skin, which is now going to show up here in this rough edit. But this is more of a rant than a fine polished ship or tank. I really feel, and not a lot of you are going to like this, but, capitalism will prevail, that there could at least been more Israeli tech tree tanks. Granted, you're kind of just like, this issue of, is it a new tank or is it just different armor on an old tank? That a lot of MBTs end up being like, it's just different armor, it's the same tank. Which I kind of feels like, why waste time producing more assets? I kind of sort of see that, but at the same time, with how important the Centurion tanks were for the IDF, it kind of feels really weird. And then again, the whole Cold War British tank line is a little bit off. That World of Tanks console just seemed to ignore them completely, except for this skin. Or this could also happen where next season, next year, suddenly we have a premium Israeli Centurion for Era 2 with Era armor. Um, our explosive reactive armor. I don't know. When it comes to the British tank, there's a lot of strengths to, or the British tanks. There's some good, but there's also some. What is the World of Tanks console doing with this tank line in Cold War? Because they seem to partially ignore it. Since its inception, the tech tree line itself looks a bit weird compared to other tech tree lines, and then you have the only reference to Israeli Centurions is the skin. So, Wargaming World of Tanks console division. What's with the, the left-handed compliments to the British tank line? It's kind of like, we know you have the assets for Centurions. You have 4 of them in the World War II mode, and the tech tree, and the whole, this one or several premiums based on it. But here, there seems to be more of an emphasis on the Soviet tanks, because now we have the Czechoslovakian tanks and at some point the Romanians, and those are all inspired or just bought and slightly tweaked Soviet tanks. So you guys are pretty good at repackaging old stuff, but not when it comes to the British Centurions, which makes me wonder what happens when you get to all the nations with Leopard tanks as their early MBTs. So it's a little weird. I really feel it's a missed financial opportunity. I'm pretty sure none of you are going to like hearing that, but hey, a cheaply but also quickly producing a product with minimal effort and time that can yield a decent or high profit that can then be used to fund more intricate and complicated products or expansion of this game, which a lot of us would like to see more in this game. And, money makes the go around, so one would think a quick and easy premium tank like a Centurion with some, well, for these early on, Blazer explosive reactor armor on the sides would be somewhat interesting, because you either put on the armor, you just tweak the armor rating, improve the speed and maybe tweak the accuracy, but I don't see a whole huge assets being remade. But this is, I guess, so far as September of 2022, the closest we're going to get to an Israeli Centurion tank, which saw service with the Israelis until the 90s. So, don't know why this very small and realistically insignificant insult to the IDF and their ground forces, but no, it's a video game, and if they don't want to make money on a $30 tank and would rather have you spend a couple bucks on a skin that doesn't really work in all maps in Cold War, okay. All I know is after suffering through the British tank line, I've gotten better with being hulled down in Cold War and being a little more patient. I'm going to die shortly here, but I did 5,000 damage. So, yeah, that's how the Israeli / British Sho't Meteor Centurion performs. Don't really, really think they could have missed a financial opportunity, like I said. And as documented with the scene with the Panzerjager NM-116 and the Type 63 HD90s, like, you guys can do this. Just make the tank look slightly different. Don't even really need to touch the numbers of the tank. Just add premiums and it's a new tank. I don't know. Of all the times to be lazy and profitable and to not do that, one would think one of the most famous British tanks that was well beloved by the Israelis would be something you want to capitalize on, but alright. Don't know. British tanks are a little weird in Cold War. Now, I guess I'll give a review. It's not going to review. The question comes up, which tank should I get? The Panzerjager NM-116 or the Cold War NM-116 if you're going to put your money down into buying a premium? Well, actually, this is very easy. If you're a collector, hey, wait for a sale and there you go. Buy both. Because they're both good tanks. Hell, great tanks, depending on what your skills are. Then the next recommendation is, which mode do you prefer? If you prefer World War II, congratulations. You just got a sneaky, very effective, very capable, and wonderful silver earning tank. If you prefer Cold War mode, same thing, just replace World War II with Cold War, and it's great. You know, it's whatever mode you prefer, whatever mood you're in if you have both. So, yeah, this obvious blatant cash-in also highlights how it seems World Tanks Console likes to overlook or completely ignore potential money. I don't know. Things are a little crazy right now with Pain God gone and people getting promotions that previously thought they were just going to be staying in their place. But I'm not going to dwell on the backroom politics. All I know is a really OP, in some opinions, tank has been brought into World War II mode from Cold War, and once again, the British get left out in the cold again. Still can't get a T-64 though. I don't know. Slow and steady is the best you can say about what World of Tanks console's doing. So I'm gonna end my rant there. By all means, stick around for the end. If you like this more introspective and questioning aspect of World of Tanks console, by all means, give me a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Hopefully got another video in the pipeline. A little more fun, a little less, why would you want them to take more money out of my pocket? They're genius, not so genius, you monetary genius. Haha. Anyway, I hope you liked the videos. I will hopefully see you in the next one. I hope you keep your treads on the ground and the RNGs in your favor. And goodbye.